Hello, I'm Vicky, and today we'll be making this cute little zippered pouch. Canvas exterior, waterproof lining inside. Let's go sew. Good afternoon. Today we will be making a pouch with a zipper. These are a few of the tools you'll need. Pattern, ruler, rotary cutter, fabric pen, regular pen, some thread, needle, a lighter, zipper pull, some clips, and some snippers, an iron, and some double-sided tape. Let's get started. Okay. It's a little paper pattern that I have made for this pouch. It's 8 1/4 by 5 inches. Fold it in half. This is some waterproof lining that we'll be using along with canvas fabric for the outside. Zipper pull. We're going to fold our pattern in half and cut on the fold. And let's take some clips. We're going to clip right on the edge of the fold, just like this. And you can either use your fabric pen to trace around the fabric, trace around the pattern, or use your rotary blade or scissors to cut that out. Okay, so now we have the interfacing all ironed on. Now it's time to add our zipper pull to our zipper. A little neat trick. You can fold this top part down about a 1/2 inch or so. Make sure you have a little crease on both sides. Let's fold down and then fold this zipper over. Let's put a little clip there. We're going to do the same for this side. Let's add a clip on this side. And now what that allows us to do is have like a 45-degree angle in the end of the zipper. So once you zip it, let's see, let's make that a little prettier. Let's see, I'll put the zipper end on. And I'll show you once you zip it and get to that end, since we have bent those ends down, will not be able to go off the end. There you go. And now we're gonna tack these down with some needle and thread to secure those in place. Alrighty, have my needle and thread. I'm gonna slide the zipper pull back a little bit, and I'm gonna leave the clips on till I get a couple stitches in here, just to help keep it nice and secure. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm gonna put a couple more stitches. This is just gonna help keep this nice and secure once we get it on to the exterior fabric. I'll get it sewn down and it'll be nice in place. A little bit of overhang right there. Also want to take the lighter and just cut off those frayed, or burn off the frayed edges. All right, let's take the needle and thread and go to the other side. Left a little bit of a tail. I'll clip all that off once we finish sewing. Couple more stitches and then I'll take off the clip. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Let's hold it down. Okay, I think that's good. Well, you can cut the thread and cut those little edges right there. Let's get our lighter. And there we have it. All right, next we want to cut a zipper end. So we're going to take our ruler, probably about 1.5 inches from the edge. We're going to measure out, draw a line, probably about 2 inches in. Okay, there we go. Now let's grab just one of the pieces of the exterior. This can be the front, and we want to measure and place see where we're going to place our zipper. Let's go in about 3/4 from each edge and draw a little line. So the front end of our zipper, it will end here. And once we put our zipper tail on, it's going to end about right there. You can see that. Let's zoom in. So we got 3/4 inch from this side, 3/4 inch from that side. We'll place the front of our zipper here, and once we connect our zipper end, it will sit there. So this part of the zipper will be cut off. So let's go ahead and put this mark on the zipper itself. And we are going to go ahead and cut. Okay. And you see, our zipper fits right between those two spaces. And we also want to burn those frayed edges off the end. And we will place our zipper tag on the end and stitch around. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this tag on the end, making sure the front and the back meet up. And I'm going to add a couple clips to hold this down, and then I'm going to go over to the sewing machine and sew around. Okay, we are at the sewing machine and all set and ready to sew. Let's take this off. About 1/8 inch. I'm gonna start to sew. Gonna back stitch. Okay. Let's turn. I'm gonna move this clip as well. Just hold it with my hand. And This is a plastic zipper, so it's okay to sew with my needle. These zippers came from Zippers by the Foot, which I purchased from Amazon. Okay, I'll take and trim this up, and we'll head back over to the cutting table. Before we sew up the bag, I would like to add my label to the inside of the bag. Gonna put a bit of double-sided tape on the back just so it'll stay in place while I am sewing it. Let's see, there we go. I just press down and then peel the tape. All right, I am just going to eyeball it. Feel free to measure if you have a tag. I'll just eyeball it, place it somewhat in the middle. Get the end of that thread, and let's start sewing. Let's see. It's back stitch. Cut the thread. And there we go. Okay, now we are at the point of putting our bag together. Next step, we can use double-sided tape for areas where we're going to be connecting the zipper onto the exterior panels and the lining panels. Let's find the end of the tape. I'm just gonna place this right across the very top. Let's get my snips. It's just the top of the front and back exterior panels. And the front and back, the lining panels. Gets a little tricky. Okay. It's easier for you to measure it and cut it first. It gets a little tricky because it is quite sticky. And I just made a goof. This actually goes on the outside of the exterior pieces. So let's flip that over and try this again. I got carried away and a little bit ahead of myself. Where are my snips? There we go. And let's do the same here. Sit as close to the edge as possible. And there we go. And we have our double-sided tape on our interior lining pieces and the exterior exterior panels. Okay, so let's set aside 2 of these pieces. We're going to peel the tape. All right. Oops, so a little longer than need be. Okay. Now we want to take our zipper and those 2 marks we made earlier, here and here. We want to, I'm going to open this a little bit. We want to place these, you can start at the front, gently pressing as you go down. These to be nice and even. So now we'll take our lining piece, start at the edge, and press and work your way down. If you need to lift and reposition, that's fine. This double-sided tape is very forgiving in that way. Okay. Oops. A little further. I'm off a little bit. Let me cut this over just a bit more than I need to be. I need to be right on this edge, and I was a little bit off. So we pull that up and trying this again. Slowly working my way down, and there we go. Everything lines up nicely. All right, now we're gonna go to the sewing machine and sew 1/4 inch down. Okay, we're back here at the sewing machine, and just wanted to point out that I have switched to my zipper foot for this next portion. All right, let's put down, we're gonna do about 1/4 inch. Couple stitches. Grab that tail. Back stitch a little bit. Just gonna pause right here. Reach down. Oops. Press with it. Open the zipper a bit more. Put that down. And continue to sew. Okay, and there we go. Alrighty, this looks great. Just opened it up and pressed it down with my fingers. Let's go ahead and take the other exterior piece. We've already added tape. We'll just push it down. Let's take the paper off. There you go. And we're going to want to make sure these edges line up as we take this edge with the tape and line it up to the top of the needle. I'm sorry, the zipper, like we did previously. Just start on one end and just slowly work your way down. I'm keeping 2 fingers below as I work my way down. There we go. Okay. Okay, we have it on. Let's flip. Check everything out so it lines up. You can even get your ruler and we can measure. It's 3/4 of an inch on both sides. I'm just gonna shift this a little bit since we have it flipped over now. Get that straightened out. And now let's take our other lining piece, remove the paper, and right on the edge and work your way down the zipper. Like we did on the other side. Let's see here. All right. There we go. Nice. And everything appears to be lined up. Now we're going to head over to the sewing machine and sew down this side just like we did the other side. So we're back at the sewing machine. We are going to start at the tab end and we're going to sew down to 1/4 of an inch seam. All right. Back stitch. Stop. It's my presser foot. Open the zipper. Slowly over the zipper. Back stitch. And back stitch here. There we go. Back to the back at the cutting board. Just open everything up. We want to flatten and just finger press this other side that we just sewed. All right, and you can kind of see how everything is going to end up coming together once we sew everything. But first, we're going to top stitch down along both sides. And when we top stitch, we will be top stitching the lining. We want to make sure that this is nice and flat as well. I'm just finger pressing. May not be a bad idea to use some double-sided tape, maybe just a couple pieces on each end to help hold things down as we top stitch. So I think this is flat enough on each end where we can just use some clips to help keep everything nice and flat as we do this. And I'll meet you back at the sewing machine. So now we're back at the sewing machine. I went ahead and changed my bobbin thread to black. My top thread is white, which is fine with the outer material that we're using. But since my waterproof lining is black, I wanted to make sure I switch that out so it matches, since you will be able to see that when we open the bag. Okay. So I'm not going to start stitching right at the very end, probably about 1/4 of an inch right here from the zipper tab. I'm going to start my stitching. And actually, before we do that, let me switch this presser foot back to the regular one. And I have the regular presser foot back on. Like I said before, we're going to start stitching probably about 1/4 of an inch out from the zipper tab. Going to hold the thread. And we're going to stitch all the way down to the other end, about 1/4 of an inch out from the end of the zipper. Going to pause. Okay, we want to lift the presser foot and move the little slippery zipper. Let's open it up lower your press foot and continue sewing. And remember, about 1/4 of an inch out. And instead of cutting my thread, I'm just going to leave a 2. And let's flip the bag around and do the same thing on this side. 1/4 of an inch out. Okay, we're coming up on the zipper. Let's pause, lift our presser foot, close our zipper, lower the presser foot, and continue to top stitch. We're gonna stop about 1/4 of an inch from the zipper tab. Raise my needle. And there we go. We top stitch the top and top stitch the back. Please don't forget to leave me comments on your technique and style. If you would do something different, any suggestions or recommendations that you may have for me. Thank you. Okay, we are back at the cutting board. And you'll notice I left long tails. You are more than welcome to backstitch, but I wanted to leave long tails so I can pull those through and knot them on the bottom. So what I want to do is pull on the bottom string, the bobbin, and once I do that, you can see that the top stitch comes through. Once you have both of those, to separate them with my seam ripper, let's just tie 2 to 3 knots in those 2 strings. Let's just do a 3rd one for extra security. Then I like to take my snips, cut that off. There you go. You flip it over. You have a nice finished stitch. And do that for the remaining 3 ends, and I'll meet you back. Hey, this looks great. All stitched down. Now our next step will be to, let's unzip this about midway. Our next step will be to pull our lining pieces together and our exterior pieces together. We want to start here at where the lining and the exterior pieces meet up together. Put a clip there. Do the same. Line them up. Let's place a clip. Whoop. And then we'll go around the exterior panels, clipping as we go. Making sure everything is lined up nice and even. Okay. So need to pull here a bit due to that zipper. Just clip. Nice and tight. We are going to measure about, let's see, probably 4 inches will be good for an opening, because we will need to birth this bag. So about 4-inch opening. So this will be our do not stitch line as we are stitching around this bag. And continue placing my clips to pull pretty tight right there. Let's place a clip here. Let's see, one more clip. So we're gonna go over to the sewing machine. Can start here on this side and stitch all the way around. 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around. So I will meet you at the sewing machine. All right, back here at the cutting board. So this is how your bag should look after you finish sewing all the way around. Gonna take my snips and just cut into these rounded corners. Please be sure you do not cut into your stitches, because that will cause your bag to unravel. You want to get close to the stitches, but do not cut them. You'll do this to all 4 corners. Just a few snips. And there we go. Looks good. Next, after snipping the corners, you want to fold the bottom of your lining and just finger press where you would have stitched. That way, when we turn it on the right side, we will already have the line we need to stitch and close the bag. There you go. All right, we have that folded down. Now it is time to birth the bag. I like to, and hopefully you remember to leave your bag unzipped about halfway. I like to reach in and start with the corners and start pulling. If we were doing a bag where maybe it was a little bit tighter or a smaller bag, you could use your forceps to get in there to those corners and pull them out. Look at that nice corner right there. Okay. I'm just pushing down all the edges. Let's see. That looks great. Yeah, zip. Looks great. All right, you're gonna wanna pull out your lining. And I have one final step to do in sewing the lining. You can either choose to hand sew with the needle and thread, or take it to the machine and get a nice little stitch along the bottom and close it up. We are back at the sewing machine. I'm not going to change my thread for this. I still have in the white thread that I used to sew the bag. I'm just going to put a nice little stitch at the bottom of this right here where it's still open. We left about a 4-inch opening in order to turn the bag. I'm going to just catch on the very tip of that. Couple stitches, back stitch, and just nice and slowly go across to close that opening. Alrighty, back stitch, cut my thread. I like to go ahead and cut that tail off. All right, you can tuck that line in, back and side. Remember to get that edge. If you have to kind of maneuver it, wiggle it a little bit, it'll pop right up there. And some nice edges on this bag. Turned out very nice. Oh, name tag right there in the back. We're back at the cutting board. We have a finished bag. Thing looks nice. I'll be top stitched. That turned out really great along the inside of the lining and the outside of the bag. Nice even corner, nice straight corner. Lovely bag. This bag can be used for a makeup bag, travel bag, pencil bag, whatever you'd like to use it for. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those for me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for joining me today and making this neat little bag. Bye-bye.